So, in the last episode, the Everwatch Rangers, after a very rough first meeting with their new member Cyran, were gathered into the town hall to meet with Priat Abriv Hadam. The Priat explained to them the honor they were to be awarded in their freelance license, but voiced concerns over the party's ability to function as a unit. Before he would allow them to receive their license, he required them to prove themselves by taking on the orcs of Wyvern Tor. After a day of readying themselves, the Rangers said their goodbyes and head out for the city of Conneberry. You left last session, as I said, and are making your way overland towards Conneberry, which you have been told is a new settlement in an old city. You are on your way there, but on your way you will be protecting a large shipment of goods, which has in the past been raided by orcs along the road. You are not alone. There are other people with you, the actual merchants, and then some caravan guards. The road between Phandalin and Conneberry is one you have traveled before. Not all the way, of course, but you took half its length to get to Wave Echo Cave, home of the Lost Mine. The terrain is rocky and rough, you imagine, because of the raiding that has been happening this year, and it seems to keep on a steady incline towards the Sword Mountains. You're joined by another team from Helm's Hold. There are 4 people with you. There is a dwarf, 2 human males, and a male bard, an elf. Feel free at this point to explore the space.
It's pretty strange.
To catch everyone up and for my recording, y'all been on the road. Y'all are camping, and all of the folks are pulled away from the campfire and are having a communique about where the orcs attack. So, my apologies. Please continue.
What's the cleric and the paladin's name?
Identical twins. The one with the triangle pointing down over his left eye is Uvo. Is William. He's the paladin. And the one with the arrow over his right eye is the cleric named Uvo. So there's William and Uvo.
Why?
Could I get a language of origin?
You may not.
What about a spelling?
Human.
Alright. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Uvo, do you know any combat magic or potentially incapacitating magic we could use against the orcs if they choose to ambush us?
He's mostly a healer?
I figured, but I wanted to ask anyway.
Yeah. Healing and protection is sort of his gig.
Well, I propose that we try and set up a counter ambush of sorts with our 2 magicians, and either hide them in the wagons, or if the tree line is close enough to the trail, we can have them skulk in the tree line under protection of 1 guard, just so they aren't ambushed if the orcs do come for the trees. But maybe that way, if we can throw out enough spells quickly enough, we can potentially turn the tide in our favor before it's started.
Okay. They'll turn and look at each other for a while.
And this is to everybody, so...
Right, so
and
William and Uvo will turn and look at each other, not saying anything, and then nod at each other, and then turn back and nod at you.
Well, William, I propose Sorry, I'm spacey tonight. Is William the head of the guard of the caravan, or just...
No, there doesn't appear to be any leadership necessarily, in terms of this team.
Okay.
You've sort of noticed that they kind of listen a lot to the dwarf in terms of like how they ought to do tactics and the like, but the elf sort of has the heart of the team in mind, and these two are just like classic fighter healer stuff.
All right.
So you kind of get the understanding pretty quick, like on day one, that you guys are part of this caravan as protectors, but that's kind of their job. They're guarding the caravan.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to take care of the orcs.
All right. Well, William and Uvo, I propose that you stay out front of the caravan, maybe hiding Uvo in the first wagon if that's more comfortable with you, but to attention of the orcs as a shiny leader in silver armor. We can hide our other two mages in one of the wagons and hopefully get a jump on the orcs before they come down.
They will say that is acceptable. Uvo will
they say it in sync like The Shining?
Yeah, they will say acceptable at the same time.
Got it.
Uvo, however, will look at you and say that he doesn't think that hiding in the cart is necessary.
For him or for the other mages?
Well, for pretty much anyone. The ability to have like a trigger for when they should pop up would be more difficult. Since you're not entirely certain which side of the road the orcs might come from, he recommends that perhaps you stay on either side of the cart in a certain way. Like, since he and his brother work, they'll sort of explain the dynamic is that William soaks a lot of damage and Uvo keeps him up. And so they recommend that perhaps they stay at the front, like you suggested, while maybe you and the dwarf, who they tell you is named Botkeg, stay in the back, and then have the bard and the two casters in the middle.
Do you think that letting the orcs know we have magicians in our presence could be detrimental to us? They may choose to alter their attack if they know we have mages accompanying this caravan.
William will cock his head to one side and say, do they intend to just be firing off fireballs and the like, or is how would they know what they are?
I assume their dress gives them away a lot because of, carrying a staff and not having armor like the rest of the caravan.
I mean, I have medium armor.
Well, at least R1.
So
R1.
to note, the people. So Fitz technically isn't dressed much differently than the merchant with the books. And I don't think that Cyran is dressed particularly strangely, right? This is the weird thing about being able to pick out who is a spellcaster in this setting. It's like the bard is a spellcaster, but would you be able to tell that at a glance, right? I don't think that that's something that would come into account. It would be very difficult to tell a mage from a studious guy on the road without seeing him cast spells.
Even despite a large staff?
I mean,
fancy looking one?
Most travelers carry a walking stick.
Okay. Well, then I say what you propose is a good plan going forwards.
Okay. They'll recommend they will recommend further that if fighting does break out on two fronts, it would be perhaps easier to stick with the groupings that they know. It would be kind of detrimental to have two fighters working at the same time at cross purposes. Everyone has their own style, and you kind of have to work with each other to figure out what it is.
And I'll just nod at that.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah. This is not what they're saying, but it's like the friendly way of saying, "Don't get in our way," sort of thing. If that's not what they're saying, but that's kind of the effect. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So that is the plan then. Let me see something here. Cool. So you break up that meeting in particular. The bard has produced a... let me see. The bard has produced a flute of some sort. Sort of a Y-shaped flute with a drone pipe down one side, and is playing out a fairly lively number around the fire, and everybody seems to be sort of enjoying it, except, of course, for the dwarf, who is over by the wagons away from the fire, sleeping off the entire bottle of wine he consumed in about 30 seconds.
Lightweight.
Well, it was a big bottle. And the night is wearing on. Is there anyone you would like to speak with? Anything you'd like to do at this point?
How are the sleeping arrangements?
Everyone is sort of keeping to themselves. The merchants will sleep with the carts, probably like under the carts. I would imagine, in case it starts raining.
That's fair.
The other party sort of lays out a very organized. The other three lay out a very organized like camp coming off of a single point in the middle of them. 3 spokes in a wheel sort of thing. And then the dwarf is just... You catch them later on, like when everyone's turning in. William and Uvo each grab a leg and drag the dwarf over sort of like within 20 feet of where they're going to be sleeping, and then throw a blanket over him and just sort of leave him there to snore.
That's fair.
Wait, so is no one like keeping watch while we sleep, or do we have to worry about that?
That you can if you'd like. You can
I
suggest.
feel
Can
like-
suggest it.
I feel like someone has to. We have to take someone has to be awake and keeping watch just in case we get ambushed.
Well, no one has made any plans in that regard yet. So do you
guys?
ask? Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
anyone nearby me?
I don't know. Are you nearby anyone?
Yeah.
I don't know where I am, but I'll just like say guys and be like, hey, is someone gonna stay up and make sure we don't die in our sleep?
And I'm just gonna look up and look around.
The bard on the other side will look over at you, having spoken for the first time, and flash you a winning smile, and say that our usual watch cycle is myself first, and then Uvo and William will stay up together, sort of in the middle of the night. If you would like to volunteer, that'd be certainly wonderful. We all need our 8 hours.
And I'm gonna offer the bard. For the first shift, seems a lot for one person to watch over.
Well, if you'd like to join me, you're more than welcome.
How many
Of course.
shifts are there?
There will be stars. 3 or 4? 3 shifts.
God damn it.
Okay, and then I'll be like, I guess Fitz, we can do the last shift. Assume the dwarf guy is not waking up anytime soon.
I guess.
I mean, I could do it by myself if you want to just sleep.
No,
I-
it's
I-
fine. No.
Okay.
I
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get some sleep now and wake me up when
yeah, same.
I need to go.
Yeah.
I'm barely gonna sleep.
So the bard watches this exchange. Sort of makes his bed and then wanders over to the fire. Everyone's kind of close to the fire. Like it gets cold in the mountains at night, especially since we're in the early fall months. And once everyone is sort of settled and your first watch begins, he will be just very gently, like you can't hear him more than 5-10 feet away, and he's just sort of picking gently at his lute, sort of scanning the tree line. And he'll ask you, so what's up with those two? If you don't mind my asking, that is.
And is anyone else within earshot, or is everyone else asleep?
Oh, he's keeping it very quiet. And sort of, you get the idea that he's masking the conversation with the music.
Okay. They had a interesting introduction, and we don't know quite yet what to think of Cyran.
Oh, he's new?
This is our first adventure with him as part of our party.
Huh. That's strange. How long is he?
He was
How long have you been a group? You and
How
you
long?
and the other one.
How long? I don't remember. I don't know how long it's taken. It's taken us like 4 months.
Yeah.
It's taking us more like 6, dude.
Yeah, let's say you've been together for let's say 6 months. Yeah, sure.
Okay. About half a year.
Well.
We had one other member of our party, and Cyran, and he recommended Cyran as his replacement when he had to go tend to some business elsewhere.
Nah.
But
Well-
so far we are unimpressed.
Wow, fuck you too.
Well, that's
Although Cyran certainly
in
does.
my sleep.
Although Cyran certainly does seem to have some tricks up his sleeve, which may prove useful.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Do you know what his talents are? Or...
Not yet.
So this is all brand new for you. How exciting. Well,
Thanar gives him a skeptical eye with his enthusiasm.
he'll laugh at you. He's like, you get used to very strange people along the road. Sometimes they work quite well. The thing that makes this interesting is the way we're all very different. And he casts a glance at the very noisily snoring dwarf. Such as our surly friend over there. You wouldn't expect an elf and a dwarf to get along the way that, well, at all, quite frankly, most of the time. But, he's certainly been useful.
And how long have you all been together?
Oh, a couple of years now, I think. Sort of made a name for ourselves in the Desert Valley. That's why we were recommended to this particular mission.
I was surprised they couldn't find any caravan leaders or merchants who knew the area better.
Now let me ask you something. If you knew the area, would you volunteer for the mission?
There's gotta be a brave soul somewhere.
That would be us.
Well, we're glad to have you along.
Oh, certainly. Yep. And he'll stretch out and stand up. I'm going to take a quick circle of the camp, and I'll be right back. And he'll sort of wander off over towards their camp and then out and around, and you can sort of track his movement by the sound of his lute.
Very stealthy.
How do you handle your watch? Like, what's your practice?
Stand up, walk back and forth, walk around, make sure to not get tired, and keep an eye on all degrees of the camp.
Okay. Let me have a perception check.
Character sheet. Man, guys, we didn't do our bad luck rolls.
Oh shit.
Okay.
He's right.
So the watch passes quietly. There's obviously like some rustling in the woods that are like you hear it as just sort of standard woodland sounds. And it hits the end of your watch, and you have spent a little while speaking with the bard, whose name is Aura.
Aura?
Aura, yes, Aura. Aura Vanguard, elf bard. And Aura will finish his song at like just the perfect moment, like when he's ready, when it's time for the watch to switch. He's nailed the post, and he'll stand up, stretch out, sling the lute over his shoulder, and say, "Well, time to go get the twins. It's been a pleasure standing watch with you.
And you as well.
All right, see you tomorrow." Wanders over.
Nod, walk off.
You hear two dull thuds as the bard kicks the twins in the side. And you head off to bed. Your sleep passes, and eventually the twins will wake both Fitz and Cyran up. Time for your watch.
Okay. Have good rest.
In-
Let's go, Fitz.
Indeed, they both say at the same time.
Mm.
This is how twins are, right? I'm doing the good twin thing.
I fucking hate you so much.
all identical twins are exactly the same, and it's like they're the same person in different bodies. That's how it works.
So how big is the moon right now?
How big is the moon?
Thought you were asking a way different question.
Moon-sized.
Is it like a full
need to
moon?
ask
Is
what
it like a
phase is it
half?
in?
What
What
phase is the
phase is
moon
it?
in? Like how bright is the moon right now?
Well, I mean, it's without
Like,
the.
does it
Cloud
look
cover?
nice
Can
out?
we
'Cause
see
if it,
Uranus?
if it looks nice out, I'll bring it up to Fitz. Like, I don't
Oh,
know.
okay, all right. We're gonna
Oh, romantic.
we're gonna do the romantic thing. All right, no, it's nice out. There's a few clouds. Half moon.
Is it
will.
waxing or waning here? Is it waxing or waning?
It is waxing. We have a
Ooh.
waxing half moon. It may or may not be gibbous. I have no idea what that means.
No. Well, if it's a half moon,
Is it
and it's-
1/3? Is it 1/4? Is it 2/3? Let's speak in terms you know.
No, if it's
I
a
already
half moon and it's waning, it's probably not gibbous, or it's not if it's a half moon.
I should have brought this up.
I'm taking an astronomy class, dude. Shut up.
It is moving in the direction of the full moon. It is currently half. There are clouds, however, not big ones, but just occasionally they'll pass before the moon. You can track their movement across the sky, what with the stars and all. Without the light pollution from large cities, it's, your eyes adjust to the darkness. It's dark. but you can't. You can see okay as darkness goes.
So Fitz, this is gonna be one of the last couple nights where it's gonna be like quiet and stuff like this.
Sure is.
Yeah, but I'm pretty excited to go to Waterdeep.
Yeah, it should be good. If it's anything like Neverwinter.
Yeah. What are your plans in Waterdeep?
Bless you. Somebody tell me something.
I don't know. I was thinking about torturing our DM a little bit more. Just gonna wait on it.
Well, by the time you get to Waterdeep, I'll probably deserve it.
Oh boy.
I don't
Okay.
like what that means.
Dude, I gave you an idea, Gear. Don't hurt me too bad.
I'm not sure. I'm sure I'll think of something on the way though.
Yeah, I think we'll probably just find somewhere to stay and go find a job board or something and look for some work, I guess.
I think finding a place to stay might be a bit harder than you'd imagine.
Really? At Waterdeep?
Gonna be expensive.
I mean, we got that adventuring money, though. Can't be that expensive.
Got that dollar, y'all.
If it's last, it's like, is the adventuring money? This is nothing.
Yeah. I pull out my gold and I'm like, look, I got like 50 gold here. That's a lot.
Real quick, hold on. Flame, do you actually only have 50 gold?
Yeah, I have 48.
Oh, my stars and garters, what have I done? Okay.
I have 115.
You haven't given us that much gold in general.
All my
We
gold's on Malba, like the
I have
reward.
115.
This character didn't get.
We don't have like we don't have even 500 gold among us.
Literally Fitz like hoards it all.
But I don't even have that much. I gave
How much
it to
do you
other
have?
people.
How
I
much
have
do you have?
260.
Yeah, I never had more than like 50 on Malba.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying we don't even have that much. We're not that
Literally, when
rich.
you're like split your gold in half, I'm like, okay, now I have 25.
I may have done goofed, but we'll figure that out. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
you
it.
never gave us that much gold. And then you were telling me the Waterdeep prices, and I was like, oh god.
Stars.
We're gonna be beggars.
I don't know
We're
anything
poor
about
We'll
shit.
eat our copper coins for breakfast.
Oh, this is so bad. What have I done?
It's
Fuck
fine.
this up.
I don't know how expensive Waterdeep is. I think
I don't know
it's
how
cheap.
expensive the world is.
Yeah.
Dude, it's bad. It's not
I don't.
good.
I grew up way away from here, so I don't know how expensive things are.
There's a chart.
So I guess Fitz will kind of.
So did you laugh in my face when I
Oh
pulled
well,
out my
yeah,
gold?
yeah, definitely.
Okay. I'll sadly put my gold away.
Oh, the poor boy.
No.
He's
The
saying,
literally poor
"I-"
boy.
he's saying, I don't have that much either. So
Oh. Your laughter says otherwise, but I'll take your word for it.
not money that I got myself. Well, what's your real story?
My real story?
Yeah,
What do you want to know?
the truth.
So,
The truth,
tell me about
that's-
yourself.
I mean, I don't really know you that well. What?
Well, you told me a bunch of things at the dinner table, but which of them were true?
Probably none of them.
Oh, good to know.
I can do magic, that's true.
Nice. Good.
But that's the extent of it.
Oh, no.
I like reading books. That's something about me. Maybe you didn't know. I read a lot
Nice.
of books. Do you read
Well,
books?
Yeah, I read books.
Oh, here. I just finished this book, and I give him Tusk Love. You should read it sometime. It's It's interesting, but you might like it.
Oh!
Do you
What the
do you
fuck
do you
is that?
flip through it? Do you flip through it?
Do I recognize it?
Probably no, probably not.
This is from like where I'm from, so I
Okay.
doubt it.
It's like
I
he
was thinking
he
it was
supports
like the 50 Shades of Faerun.
he supports small
Local
authors.
business.
Yeah, small authors.
Or small authors with big dreams.
Do you have any books that I can borrow? I'm looking for some new books. I'm out of books.
Kind of.
Kind of?
It's just like flipping through this book and catching on to some of the keywords contained within the book.
Oh
He's gonna-
no.
Can I
He's gonna-
hear some of these keywords?
No.
Are you
Oscar.
asleep?
I want to hear them. You know.
Did you
I don't-
sleep?
Oh, no. Player wants to hear them, not character.
Oh yeah.
Just look up
But-
Tusk Love.
Oh my
Give you
god.
everything
okay.
you need to know.
And he'll like shut the book with like both hands and
What
like
the
already.
Fuck.
Oh god. He's gonna shut the book with like a hearty slap, and he's gonna be like, I don't think it's anything you'll be interested in.
What? I read all types of books.
I'd say it's like magic books and history. I don't know.
Oh. Not like
You can read them if
stories.
you want. I mean, I suppose I do have some stories.
It's like you've pulled out the old magic textbooks and they're just like super dry treatises on how to draw magic circles and
I do have some stories, I guess.
I get the feeling.
Let's forget I said anything.
So I've been scanning through the books recently, and I think you're supposed to have about 500 gold by this point.
We have about 500 between all of us.
We don't even have that much.
Wait, each or between all of us?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be each, my dude.
By
No,
like what? By
that's
like
a
this
hard
level?
Never mind. Keep going with the thing you're doing.
We
Okay.
can deal with Gold Leader.
Yeah. Oof. So, so y'all are having this lovely discussion. If you want to keep having it, we can do that. Alternatively, you can roll me a perception check.
Each of us?
Yes, both of you.
Oh, big rolls.
Big hog, dude. Where's my perception? Oh,
Ooh. Oof. You have a -1 in perception. Oh god.
dude, I know.
Wait, which skill is perception? It's
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
oh yeah. Well, no
For
wonder
some reason.
you min-maxy pile of. Anyway,
Hey.
Fitz, you have Tusk Love like near you, and this concerns you for a period of time. Oh boy.
Does the book? Actually, I don't want to ask this question. Never mind.
You remember that Tumblr thing?
Yeah.
It's a lot like that.
No. Well, does the book?
It's
have
not
any
illustrated.
marks on it?
No, it's not illustrated.
But
No,
this is
no,
a
like-
graphic novel.
No. Is it like? Does it have any non-book mark on it?
The fuck
Oh,
I mean.
I know what you mean. No,
No. Okay.
no, it's clean.
So Fitz
Oh my
isn't
God.
supremely weirded out.
Okay.
Oh, no, I use it just for like reading, not for any of
It
that
is.
shit.
It. I think
It's a
it's
good
well defined
story.
as a graphic novel, but not a graphic novel.
I'm glad you reused my joke.
Listen, man, it's real busy in here. Oh my
I'm glad
stars!
you
I've never
reused it
seen the
'cause it was
cover. That's awful.
I saw a couple of them. It wasn't.
Oh, I can't.
None
I can't
of
look at
them
Here,
that.
this is some weeb shit.
Oof.
You
Anyway,
wanna see the worst one?
anyway. So, ahem.
I saw that one. I thought the other one was gonna worse.
So it's quiet for a long period of time. Fitz, the only sound that you can hear is horror in your head as you really begin to try to figure out who this person is.
Did you give me a book, by the way?
I need to look at. Hold on. I think I had some that I picked up,
I hate that one even more.
but I don't remember.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say yes, but I need to look through the notes to see what it was.
I just can't. With the Tusk Love, I just can't. So,
It's a really good story.
oh yeah, boy, it is. It's about real love.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Not none of that fake
Yeah.
bullshit love.
Yeah. This is about like actual love. It's not like one of those Harlequin romances where nothing ever happens. Like they get to it. You kind of remove yourself, Cyran, from the situation while Fitz is gone. I mean, he's there, but he's not there. He's gone. And maybe do you walk around or do you sort of stay in place? How do you pass your watch?
I guess I'll go walk around if he's really like invested, and by invested I mean terrified in the book.
Yes, that's probably now. Do you think that he's terrified by the book, or do you think that he is fascinated by the book?
I mean, what kind of vibe are you giving off, Fitz?
I think it's.
Does your face look terrified?
I think it's analysis paralysis. I'm trying to figure out why you like this book.
He likes this book. He's excited. He can't wait for the sun to come up to start reading it.
I just like reading.
So
You don't know that.
you're wandering.
I don't know what that is.
You're wandering, and at one point you get like near the tree line, and you hear something large moving in the woods.
Fitz. Quietly.
He doesn't respond.
I use Mage Hand and knock the book out of his hand and say, Fitz.
Oh, what?
I hear something.
Oh, shit. It's like gets up and
Wake everyone up.
okay, Fitz will go wake Thanar up first.
Huh? What?
Can I
Cyran.
use disguise self to camouflage myself in with the tree?
What does disguise self do?
You can disguise yourself magically as many.
You look different. You can make everything on you look different. Oh, yeah, you must adopt a form that has the same basic arrangement of limbs.
Right.
But you could just like change the color of your everything.
Yeah.
So
It could be a four-limbed
I think that's up to the
octopus.
DM.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Like it's all of a sudden you're wearing like woods camo or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, yeah, sure. Then you can do that with Mask of Many Faces.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, so I'll look very, like, pretty much like a ghillie suit kind of setup. And try to see what
Once
the noise is.
Once everyone is sort of roused from their slumber and sort of moving around, Cyran, you're closest to the woods, and you hear large footsteps moving away from the tree line. And
Like away from us?
Yeah, away from you, deeper into the woods. And a snort. It sounds kind of like a pig, you would think.
I'll try to walk towards it, I guess.
It's gone. Like they're moving quickly.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll go back and regroup and say it had like I heard some like large steps and a snort. Don't know what that could be, but
So Fitz was only planning on waking up Thanar. If that matters.
All right. No, Thanar is the one that you awaken. And what does Thanar? How does Thanar react to this? Because essentially, what will happen from this point? I've lost my dry erase marker. Sort of. What does Thanar do?
Fitz, what were you doing before this?
Sitting.
Go back there and pretend like nothing has changed. I'm gonna wake the others. We can't let them know that we know they're there.
but I just told you guys they were walking away.
Are they walking away at this point?
And when I walk back to meet you guys, I said they're walking away, and it sounded like big steps.
I
and
thought we went
snorts.
backwards in time. That's what I was assuming.
Oh, I did.
At gear?
Oh, I don't know what's happening.
No.
Where are we?
They disappeared into the
Okay,
woods.
if they're already disappearing, then never mind.
Imagine it was like a quick, like 10 to 15 second thing.
What time is it? At the day?
Sun
up
is
in
kind
the
of
sky?
just starting to peak. Like you can see the light coming up over the hills.
Fitz, help me rouse the others. So we'll go around. We'll just wake everyone up.
I also dropped my disguise to not scare them. I learned my lesson.
Cool.
Did you make
So-
your face look like a tree too?
Like face paint.
It is
Kinda setup.
full battle camo. He's ready to rock. Oh, that's what that was. So everybody wakes up. They sort of quiz you, Cyran, about what you heard, and you tell them. It was essentially just a rustle in the tree line, and then the sound of heavy footsteps moving away, and the sound of a snort.
Do orcs snort? Typically.
No. Not the sound you heard.
Okay.
Did it sound like animal footsteps or human? Because those are very different.
Kind of hard.
Or like-
Kind of hard to
Like
tell, but
two legs or four legs?
2 legs
Okay.
and 4 legs.
What does that mean?
I mean, it sounds like you heard 2 distinct sources, one of which had 2 legs and one of which had 4 legs.
Okay. Well, we don't know it was orcs for sure, but we have to assume we know where we are and how many of us there are. Our best chance is to keep moving and make it a long day. Get to Conneberry as soon as we can.
All right. So with that, once all of the caravans are sort of rounded back up and everything is gathered, you scatter the fire and start out. Everyone's a little groggy because they didn't get the full 8, but it's not that bad. It's just like missing getting up like an hour or 2 earlier than you expected.
Pussies, I get like 4 hours of sleep every night. I'm fine.
Let's not play that game, my dude. It's a bad game to play. So you're on your way along the road, and you get to sort of the point you expect, right? And it's this kind of narrow passage, and there's rocks jutting up on one side and the trees are close on the other. There's maybe, less than 100 yards between the two of them, right? This is sort of tight for the way it has been. There's been a lot of space up to this point. And everyone has sort of, you sort of feel that layer of tension over the entire group. And the bard is still playing, but the song that he's playing is sort of a little bit darker than it was this entire trip. And the cleric has gripped his holy symbol. The caravan drivers are not being subtle at all. They're casting looks left and right, and they're very concerned about being in this area. Let me have
How far are the hills above us?
They're like from the ground, probably like 10 feet up. Like, it'd be difficult to climb to the top of them.
So they're like cliffs, they're not hills.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just sort
How
of.
far is the carts from tree line?
Let's say about, give or take, 50 yards on either side.
Okay.
Yeah. You've sort of arranged yourself as you described earlier. The brothers are up front. Paladin is riding, let's say, 10 yards out. His brother is right close, like within 30 feet, so he can get him as soon as possible. In the middle is the bard who's playing, as I mentioned. Your cart is also there, in the middle between the two wagons. Thanar, you are riding on the back of the second wagon, and the mule that the dwarf is driving is right behind you, and you can sort of watch him just nod off every now and then. And you pass through. You're really surprised. Like, you were expecting that if the ambush was going to be anywhere, it would be here. And you keep going. You make your way into this zone, and the hills open up, And it's about an hour afterwards, everyone's sort of calmed down, when I need everyone to make a perception check.
Good. I'm really proficient in that, so this should be good. I told you.
Oh my god. Are you
Hold
even
on.
looking at?
Hold on.
What book are you reading?
There we go.
Get all
It's
of the bad
really
luck
weird.
rolls?
No, you got all the good luck rolls out.
Yeah,
what the
those are
fuck?
some pretty good rolls.
Yeah, you done goofed is what you did.
Shut up, dude.
You wasted your 20 for the night. That's it. That's all you got.
Big oof.
So, Fitz, you're kind of distracted by the fact that you're sharing the cart with Cyran and Tusklove. Especially considering that, like, there's a half-orc in your party. That's a little weird. That's a lot weird. That's going to be a problem. Ugh. And you're doing like logistics and some mathematics here, and it's not coming up good.
Ooh.
Cyran and Malba, and actually
Malba's back.
Malba's
my
back.
stars, I have no idea how that worked.
Clap.
Clap. I think Fitz would probably still be a little bit nervous as well, because nothing happened when he was expecting something to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly.
Let's have the. Let's see. The bard doesn't, and the dwarf doesn't. Thanar and Cyran, excuse me. You see, these small brown dots running in off the horizon. And they're moving quickly. And you're like, huh, that's weird. And then you realize that they're smaller than you thought. And they're still moving very quickly. And they're boars. And about the time that they get to within, 100 feet or so, the orcs come over the horizon. And they're coming out of like either side. You're not entirely sure why they didn't attack you back then, but here they come. And I'm going to need initiative.
Woo,
Baby!
baby!
Woo!
All right, so who's the first name there? Is that wow? Okay, all right, fine.
That's
Be that
good.
way.
My
Three with my
initiative
plus
is better than
7.
Fitz's initiative.
The +7, dude. Are you kidding me? You
Dude,
rolled
I
like
picked up the
garbage.
alert feat. I rolled an
You rolled like-
11.
That's garbage.
Dude, compared to your 20s, yeah.
Ooh.
If you got a decent roll, maybe you would have
Luke, I
gotten
would
like
Drop my okay.
Tougher.
So
My attack rolls are +8.
on the stealth halfling I played. I had like a +9 to shooting under stealth. It was a bit obscene. So he's rolling initiative for 40 enemies based on the time.
yeah,
And
yeah.
the
I'm busy. Hold on. This is gonna take a second. Oh man, it's amazing how many of them rolled higher than you.
Dude,
What?
I don't believe that.
don't say things like that.
For some reason,
That's
I
just
keep
bogus.
wanting to put Malba in the party.
You miss him,
Dude,
dude.
you miss him.
I do. It's real sad.
You
I
miss
I
him.
don't.
You miss his leadership and all the leadership positions that he filled within our party by talking
None.
so
And
much.
how talkative he was.
Yeah.
Literally wasn't.
I love you guys. All right. So, it'll take just a second for them to get into position, but you guys seem to be the only people who have seen these boars, except of course for the brothers who are up front expecting this. You are watching the boars rush towards the party, and you both get a shot off at them if you would like at range. They seem to be being driven by the orcs, and you see
Are the orcs? Are they both coming from straight down the road? The orcs are to our side.
a little bit off to the right.
Okay.
What do
They're
you mean
sort of
driven by the orc?
imagine, if
Like-
you will, that the boars were in front of the orcs.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you meant herding or the boars were, or the orcs were like riding.
No.
I
Herding.
was like, this is scary.
Yeah. So there are. Actually, what was my number? You see on the right of the cart coming out of the hills, you see 2 boars being driven by 3 orcs.